Greetings, bloggers, vloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty with another edition of this week's vlog. I just want to say that it is sometimes hard as an autistic person to accept our challenges and be who we genuinely are. And there are moments when we do indeed have to mask and be someone that we have to be in front of others and go through the life and the motions of life, the challenges of life, things that are expected of us to do. But then there are moments, when we're in our own environment, in our own home or in our own safe space, here to say, and we have to we can be okay, we can breathe a little, we can let ourselves down for a little bit and let ourselves be who we are, but we have to accept what a part of that being ourselves is accepting our challenges and embracing them, I guess, is what, if you will, and not being mad at ourselves because we have autism or that we're autistic. I think that part of accepting our diagnosis for what it is and accepting the challenges that we have to go through and embracing them and accepting the accommodations that are set forth for us. Maybe that means, setting forth the closed captioning on a screen and only listening to the reading the titles on the screen and tuning out the sound on a TV because it is too overwhelming for you or too challenging or traumatic because of past triggers or past events that may be challenging for you, or the past sounds that may bring up former memories that may be challenging for you. Those are things that we must endure and must embrace at times, that are something we have to endure at times, and that can be a challenge. Also, accepting things, that uh, things of technology for that nature, and accepting such as the closed captioning, such as having to read things slower, such as having to have things broken down for us into different formats, accepting those accessible accommodations because we are, indeed a disabled person, and whether or not we want to accept, that being autistic is a disability or is a challenge, and accepting the sensory or other accommodations that are, made for us or are available to us, and embracing those accommodations and allowances that are available to us. Sometimes it's hard to embrace, that we may need a quiet room, or that we may need, a place to chill out, or we may need a fidget or a calm toy. And, I think that was one of the hardest things for me that I had to accept last year, was when I had to accept the fact that I had to make a sensory bag to go to day program, because you never knew what was going to happen. You never knew if the internet was going to go out. You never knew if the telephones were going to go out, or that you were going to be without electricity for that matter. You never knew if you were going to be on a longer van ride than normal. All of these things you had to prepare for and be aware of, excuse me, and know that you had to be in preparation. And that's one of the hardest things. I think that was one of the harder things to accept, but also knowing that, if I need to turn off the sound for to understand something, or that I need closed captioning, it's okay, and that I can accept that because, I may understand something better if I read it than when I'm told. Or that I may need that nap after 2.5 hours of riding, or may need a long day. I may need to have a nap, and that it's okay to take a nap, and that you can move on with the day, but you can't beat yourself up about it, and you can't throw a challenge at yourself because you can't do things differently, or go off the course, if you will, because you took a nap, and that was a wasted time or a challenge of a time. Embracing, that you need that break, and you need that rest, and accepting the challenges that come your way as being autistic, but also accepting the accommodations and disabilities, that need to come with it. If you need a special accommodation, or a break, or something, just simple. And it can be hard to ask, and it can be hard to explain, because we fear ourselves of being prolonged at, or probed at because we feel, that we're scared or that we're going to be judged or something. And I know for firsthand what that fear is of being judged and being probed at. And that, well, are they going to say something just because, oh, he's the special one, or oh, they're the special one? I think that's a big thing to understand too, is you have to understand, sometimes you have to go with it because it works for you, and you may be judged and you may be uh, counteracted for something. For in fact, I called today to our local elections bureau and asked for about getting an election ballot, and I was told just basically to order one. I had to order one, not just show up. That showing up at the office would not provide me with a ballot. That, as they say, you can do. That I would have to be required to at least order one and bring it to the office, which I mean, accessing the office is not an issue for me, but I would have to be prepared, and that I would have to take some steps upon myself to make sure that the ballot was ordered, and not that I just show up, and the steps that you couldn't do what was intended. And maybe that means if I really wanted to, that I could counteract that with something, but it's all in how you see it. Um, it's all in how you're willing to accept it. It's all in willing how you have to understand that you can handle something or manage your senses and manage you can get through something in life without it being so much of a challenge for you as it is something. If you need the accommodation, by all means, please ask for it, and please be sure that you follow through with it and get what you need. That's what part of the great thing about being at least an American here in America is that you can get the Americans with Disabilities Act, and there is, accommodations for you to ensure that you have equal access to things that you as a fellow American have access to, and do not have to fear being judged or not being given equal access just on the basis of your disability. And there's many things, excuse me, that are available to you if you just ask. And I think sometimes we have to embrace that autism, while it is something of a neurological condition, can also be something, that is, and sometimes can be seen as a gift, but also seen as something we have challenges with, and it impairs us in some way and prohibits us from allowing us to do things that that allow us to navigate society in norms that a world is just not built for us, folks. So, sometimes we have to ask for extra help to get what we need. And if that is even done in a world where we can do so safely, or a world where we have to mask as much as humanly possible and try to get through it, or if it is that we need special accommodations for what we need, then we do it. But we don't beat ourselves up about it, and we don't, brag about it. We don't, go overtake ourselves about it. We act gracefully and accept it for what it is. And we have to understand that we have to be thankful for those privileges that we do have, but we don't, shine it in somebody else's eyes. We don't be thankful overly, uh, uh, you know, um, show it and be, glare it in somebody's eyes. So, just those things that we want to think of today, just being accepting of that, of our disability, of that autism in technical terms is a disability. Whether or not one sees it as that, it's up to them personally. But for me, I think sometimes we have to accept accommodations when they are afforded to us in a discreet manner, or that they're openly afforded to us, and we can at least accommodate, get asked for the accommodation when we need to have that given to us, or that it needs to be brought forth, so that we can have a manageable visit or accommodation or allowance to something we can, or have something, be prepared, or have be accepted for who we are and what we are, for our disability or our challenges, and not seen as any less of a person as the neurotypical or anybody else with similar challenges or different challenges or unique challenges. So I want to thank you again for listening today. I know it was short and sweet and to the point, but I just want to get that across to you today. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video if you like it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Tap my notification bell if you want to hear more content. I try to release it every week. I know it's been a short turnaround from last week with doing the vlog earlier this week for last week, but we're hopefully back on track. Um, be sure to like me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dustin's Dynasty, Pinterest at Dustin's Dynasty, um, TikTok at Dustin's Dynasty ASD, and on the web at Dustin's Dynasty USA .com. And I want to thank you again for listening, and be sure to have a good weekend, everybody, and take care of yourselves and have a good weekend. Bye for now.